that just made me look really crazy out of the fact that I just did that. So I am heading home. I'm not caught in too much traffic today. Today was pretty breezy, and plus I had to talk to my kids teacher and his therapist and talk to other people on my way home. So I'm slowly driving, so I'm safe. Don't worry about it. Today's caught in traffic with Kia. Wow, will be to celebrate National Spouse Day and to talk crap about Ciara. So it's National Spouse Day. I'm married. I have been married for almost 6 months now. I got married back on August 11th and 12th of 2017. My husband is Hindu, so we had two ceremonies. We had a Hindu ceremony, which was 3.5 hours long. And my dress was so heavy I could barely walk. And then we had our Christian ceremony the following day, which was beautiful. Both ceremonies were extremely beautiful. You know, it was probably the best day of my life was marrying my husband. So it's National Spouse Day, so I just want to celebrate how wonderful my husband is. I don't really publicly talk about him that much, and or my marriage that much, and the reason is because I remember what it was like being single, and a lot of girls can kind of relate to this. Like, being single and having friends or knowing people who were married or had a man, especially now with Valentine's Day coming up, can be really hard. And I know how that feeling is of being on Facebook and scrolling through all the happy pictures and scrolling through people's wedding pictures, and it used to be like a gut punch. So I don't really talk about my marriage and my husband that much, but it's National Spouse Day, so I will make an exception. My husband is the perfect man for me. He's not a perfect man. He is the perfect man for me. He loves me unconditionally from head to toe. Everything about me he loves. Even pieces of me that, you know, I am not a fan of, he loves. You know, like when we first got together, I was a fitness model when we first got together. I was in the gym constantly. I was a stacked brick house at 145 pounds. Yeah. No, I might have been 155. Either way, I was smaller than I am now. And I actually have put on 20 pounds since we've been together. And that's just from good loving and good eating. So, and we all know that. So, you know, he still loves me doesn't want me bigger. He doesn't want me to lose any weight. He loves me. And he just makes me happy. Like, I wake up in the morning happy to be with him. You know, and I've been in relationships before and I couldn't really say that. It was always some stressful drama, bullshit going on, or, you know, some crazy poor people problems that I had to deal with. And with my husband, it's not like that. You know, every day is just wonderful, and he's just so loving and so smart, and we really support each other. And I hope any girl who watches this video tries to find a man who loves her, supports her, and wants to be with her for her. You know, and it's not saying that all you women who have gotten married should let themselves go and I'm married now so I can do what I want. Like, that's not how this works. What I'm saying is your man should love you for the person you are and love you, you know, for trying hard or working hard or being a good mother. And if you have a man that does that, then you already won. And I feel like I've won. My husband is very handsome, you know, and he's smart, and he's wonderful. And I know a lot of people see us together and they're not quite sure. They're like, really, you married him? Or, you know, hey, how'd you get her? And I always laugh at them because you don't know me. You don't know you have no idea what I've been through. You have no idea what it was like to date men. Like, I've dated athletes, and they're horrible people to date. Like, to date an athlete, you really have to want that paycheck. You have to want that money more than you want your own happiness. And I didn't want that. You know, I married my husband because I wanted real, whole, unconditional happiness, and I got that. And I wanted real love, and I have real amazing love in my husband Omar. So, and happy National Spouse Day. So that rolls over into Ciara. Any of my subscribers, if you saw my video about my horrible trip to the gynecologist, that's not the first video that me and my girl Madeline recorded. The first video was about Ciara, but the gynecologist conversation was so funny, I just swapped the videos. But Ciara made this post a little while ago, like a week ago, about how women need to level up and start acting like girlfriends. So stop acting like girlfriends, they can become wives. The video was from a pastor. It's not her saying this, but it's a pastor that she felt inspired by. And I'm sorry, Ciara, I get it. You're in a happy Christian marriage, and that's great. We're happy for you. But you got big nerve doling out advice about what women need to do to be married. Number one, you haven't been married that long. I have a rule that if you haven't been tried and tested in marriage, like if you haven't been married for at least 10 years, you don't need to be giving out advice to nobody. So you haven't been married for 10 years. You've maybe been married for 2 years at this point. Also, I would never take advice from a woman, even video advice from a woman who had a baby out of wedlock by a man who already had 5 babies, mamas, and that man didn't even marry you. He didn't even marry you, Ciara. So you are not the right person. You know, you're not the right, and I heard this word, this kind of phrasing from someone else. You're not the right vessel to deliver this message about leveling up and stop acting like a girlfriend to be a wife. You're just not that person, you know? I get it. You've been married. You're married now. Great. Congratulations. But that's not the end all to be all to life. That's not the prize in life. You know, being married, and I said this in my vows, being married to my husband didn't complete me. It added to who I already was. And that's what I wanted. I didn't want to, and I don't complete him. I add to who he is. And that's how marriage is supposed to be. You're not supposed to complete somebody. And being married really doesn't mean a whole lot in the grand scheme of things, but in that video and the way Ciara was posting out there, it made it seem like being married was like a goal or a prize that women are trying to reach. And a lot of women aren't trying to reach that goal or prize. I had gotten to the point where I wasn't trying to reach that goal or prize. But I married my husband. I met my husband, married him, and realized that I just couldn't go on without being his wife. I didn't make sense without him. That's why I chose to get married. Not every woman is going to choose to get married for that reason, you know, but I did, and it was a really, really happy decision on my part. And Ciara's the same, and you got married because this man, you know, you wanted to be married to him, you wanted to have kids with him, and that whole celibate thing you had going, Ciara, like no one, we buy it, we believe it, but it's just like it's just a weird thing. And a lot of these actresses now are becoming born again and they're becoming very preachy, and y'all need to stop. Don't become, and this is to every woman who becomes born again, don't get preachy. Just because you are a born again woman, you were celibate before you married Russell, doesn't erase all the mileage on your vagina. That's not how this works. You know, your vagina, you still did your thing. You still dated a lot of men. You know, not a lot. Ciara wasn't like known for dating a ton of men, but she's got miles on her vagina. You had a baby, for God's sakes. Like, come on. And I feel like a lot of women who become born again all of a sudden forget about everything they did beforehand. God didn't take a big eraser and erase everything. You're Christian now. Fantastic. Live your life according to God's word. Amazing. You know, I'm Christian, have been Christian my entire life, and now I have to be Christian and Hindu at the same time. Talk about leveling up. Like, that's a lot of rules to go by when you're practicing 2 religions, especially when you're a female. In Hindu religion, I basically belong to my husband. My husband owns me. And I'm okay with that. Not 100% of the time, but majority of the time I'm okay with it. So, see, a lot of you Christian women who are born again, y'all you lose your minds and forget what it was like before you became born again and how hard it was, especially being a single woman in America trying to find a man. Come on, you know. So that's my little spiel. I'm going to go home to meet my husband to have a quick dinner with our child, our son, and just enjoy our Friday night. And I hope the rest of you all enjoy your weekend. I will be doing a review on Lockup. Not Lockup. I was gonna say Lockup Raw. I will be doing a video on Love After Lockup. So that'll be up in the morning. So yeah, I will see you guys in the morning. Have a good night. Bye.